The steam began to clear as Boris leaned over to retrieve his pants from the floor. He was visibly out of breath, his chest heaving in and out as he kept his mouth open to enable maximum air intake. When they told me about rapidly expanding passages, this wasn't exactly what I had in mind, chuckled the sweat-soaked man as he suppressed the cough synonymous with the early stages of the plague. His hands began to shake as he reached down and pulled up his grimy pants, steadying himself by resting his hip on the desk temporarily. It's been a long time since I felt like a real man, Boris uttered, still gasping for air, a toothless grin attempting to entrench itself on his face. He picked up his backpack from the floor and began rifling through it, seemingly searching for something specific. He placed various small pieces of tech on the table, most of them fairly innocuous. So, how long until you're ready for round 2? He inquired, as the target of his question lightly smiled and turned away. She appeared almost as breathless as he did, and this was no surprise to Boris after the vigorous session that they had shared mere moments ago. She turned back to him and shot him a stern look.
"Do you have it?"
the lady asked. Boris reached to the bottom of his backpack and pulled out a floppy object, roughly 2 feet in length. They met each other's gaze and smiled knowingly before he handed her the mysterious object.
"It's more slippery than I expected,"
she quipped.
"Where have you been keeping this thing?"
Boris barely suppressed a childish giggle, which then erupted into a raucous cackle. The lady placed the slippery item onto the table beside the other apparatus, then seemed distracted momentarily. She lifted her finger and pointed at the man's nose. Boris lifted his own hand and gently touched his upper lip, finding traces of blood and green slime oozing from a pulsating sore inside his left nostril. "Does this mean I'm ready?" he asked eagerly, stepping forward in anticipation.
"Yes. Now bend over,"
ordered the lady. Boris hastily removed his only recently fastened pants and assumed the position on the table. The lady approached him from behind and began to don a pair of crusty brown gloves.
"You may become my best work,"
she whispered softly into his ear. "I hope so, Dr. Simmons. I'd hate to end up like the last one," he gently replied, visibly relaxing as she went to work. Outside the door, cries of unbridled agony could be heard. The sounds of rended flesh and cracked bones were clearly audible over the dripping pipe in the hallway. After several minutes, the door creaked open and a female figure emerged, peeling flesh from her gloves.
"Well, that was the last colonist. Time to pack up and move on,"
she sighed, the disappointment evident in her voice. A hunched man wielding a small automatic weapon approached her nervously in the hallway. "Doctor, we have visitors. A lot of visitors," he uttered, as a mischievous smile began to infiltrate the doctor's previously disheartened visage.
"In that case, I suppose we'll be staying a little longer,"
she smirked.
"Bring me fresh subjects. Surely there is a being out there capable of surviving installation of the flexi spine. What did you think it was, you dirty boy?"